celebrating 3 years of bringing you the very best in LGBT talk programming. This is Q Talk America.
And we are back after quite a few weeks of not being here. It's time for the Joe and Babe Hour on Q Talk America. I'm Jody Ganzik.
And I'm Babe Kaler.
And it's episode, if I look at the notes, number 118.
118.
And I just checked the weather a little while ago. It is 93.
Yay for 93.
Fahrenheit degrees outside.
Okay.
Less than 100 at 1 o'clock. PM, which is pretty good. I think it was probably caused by a lot of the storms that were happening last night that everybody was telling, was posting on Facebook, oh, I got rain, my power's out, the trees are down and everything, and I'm like in Tempe and I'm like, nothing happened here. And I one of the reasons that, it wasn't really one of the reasons, but I thought, I'll be out in the East Valley and, sometimes those storms bypass the central area. So I'm like, oh, maybe I'll get more storms out there.
Yeah.
No.
But you know what? It was actually, since it was your last week, and
right.
You finished everything up yesterday.
Yeah, so then the storm said
they're going to
hit central.
Yeah, so you would miss it.
They didn't understand that I turned my keys in.
Right, but that was the whole idea behind it. Just so you know, it was all timed.
Pre-planned.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah,
but it was a good rain.
That's good.
Yeah, it was a good
Glad
rain.
you got some rain.
Yeah. So tell us about your week. Where you been? What you been doing this past 3-4 weeks now?
I don't know.
Okay.
I moved on the hottest weekend of the year.
Yes.
Actually, it wasn't the hottest weekend of the year, but you were there.
Yes.
You were kind of there directing.
I was directing and lending of the truck because, know,
that's right.
Bad back and truly being filmed.
Oh,
I don't do much of that heavy lifting and stuff.
And what was funny was, speaking of rain, the next time that we went over there, this was after you left because you had to go over to Offshoot 2, and this was one of these freak things that happened, and the next thing was taking the dresser and the mattress and all those kind of things, and we're going along the 202 and boom, freak rain shower.
For real?
For real.
For
and
reals?
Brad and I are looking like, okay, well, maybe it's time to go get a new bed or something. But I kid you not, by the time we got there, it was completely dry, as if the rain never happened.
Well, it's almost like the humidity today, and that'll take us into, I feel like today, after that nice rain and everything, my family and I, we were up Saturday morning, and why it was planned this way, but it was planned this way. We were up and out the door and at the Phoenix Zoo by 7:30 a.m.
This morning?
Today, okay. Yeah, I know. Give me
I
a sound effect.
Yeah,
I need a sound effect.
Serious
Thank
applause
you. Okay,
for that,
I need a
because
sound
that's
effect for that. But it
wow.
was winter in July.
Oh,
and they
it
brought
snow?
the snow, and they had all the frozen treats for the pets, and there was they had giant popsicles in there and frozen watermelons
That's
and
the
stuff.
snow sound effect.
Yeah, there we go. It was like that, but it was so darn hot that I don't know how many tons of snow they brought in.
It wasn't
was
enough.
Gone in no time, but the humidity, and you could see all these kids just smiling, and all the adults were drenched in sweat and okay, is this over yet? Okay, are we done? But from 7:30 this morning until 11 o'clock, the Phoenix Zoo and Fry's grocery stores had put together this event, which was fun. And I mean, we had a good time, but it's why am I up at 7:30 on a Saturday morning and at the zoo? Okay, I just had to vent for a moment. I love my family. We had a good time, but dang.
But yeah.
Okay, but
that's early.
That's early.
I had to be up because, you move into a new place, and, whoever was in the place before you, normally doesn't have the same cable ports turned on, so the internet didn't work for the past week. But it forced me to basically unpack and do non-computer, non-internet things, and I'm like, I really would like some Netflix or some entertainment, but I'm not going to run up my cell phone data plan.
Okay.
So, yeah, I will say I'm unpacked. I may not be organized because I sort of threw things into general areas that they were probably going to go.
Oh, probably.
But then they're slowly going to get reorganized later.
Okay.
But at least I'm not living in boxes.
Okay. All right. We have in-guest studios.
We do. You think we should?
in-guest.
Do you think we should introduce them, or just leave them like hanging out for like the whole hour?
We'll go ahead and introduce them. I think people will be interested because they can see. Now that they can
look,
see
yeah.
us.
There's the wide shot. Yeah.
Look at that.
Look at that. There
us.
they are.
Hi, world.
We can even give them the. There we go.
Right, look at
Look
that.
at them.
Look at us. Look at.
Oh, maybe I
Moving
should
on up.
unmute them. There we go. Now you can talk.
Okay,
Oh,
hey. That's good.
Well,
Our guests are.
to my forward or to the left on the screen is Megan Schmitz and Catherine Alonzo to her right, co-chairs of the fabulous 22nd Annual Equality Arizona Awards Dinner. It's a long thing to say. It's not just we're having a dinner. No, it's the awards dinner. We're going to hand out, because they always hand out like awards, kind of like community important people. I'm sure maybe, are we up for one?
See, you know.
Maybe.
We're accepting nominations right now.
Oh, good,
so-
good.
Wow.
Everybody out there, nominate us.
Yeah, we love it. We love it.
And that event is September 14th. You're going to have it at the Biltmore, and this is your 22nd annual. And
Absolutely.
right, so we'll talk a little bit more about that and get in. We just sort of want to be sure people know that you all are in the
That
studio,
there
and
are
if they have
people.
any questions, they can give us a
That's
call.
right. They give us a call. 888-791-9294. Or get us on the chat lines. I say chat lines. This is the chat room, which is, of course, ready to go at qtalkamerica.tv.
Okay, you said chat lines. That sort of sounded sort of funny because it's almost like we really are doing something in here with all these videos and be able to call and chat. And it could be the fact that I was just talking to someone the other day about doing like, and this is totally off of the event, but doing like work on their computer and television and internet and sex and stuff, and I was like, wow.
Sex?
Yeah, I knew that. I knew that.
sort
was
of
What?
thrown in there along with work.
Yeah, but it was the whole idea of the chat line thing that
right.
sort of made me think about that. I was like, wow. Yeah, but that's a whole nother topic for another day. We're gonna have to.
yeah.
Yeah, that'll be a good one.
Well,
I
our
think
next
I'd like to be back for that one. If
Okay.
possible. That sounds like an
Yeah.
interesting
That
one.
would be another Dixie Flatline
Like,
show,
okay, for
When
sure.
are we going to have her back?
Right, and if you're out there listening, Dixie, see, you always get credit.
She was
We
here last
always
week.
give
She
you
was here
right.
last time for
See?
the anniversary show.
Right, so we always give you props, all right?
And then we might be able to talk a little bit about that with because we did confirm Dr. Patrick Grzanka from ASU, who does a lot with gender studies and sexuality or sexual orientation studies. He'll be here the end of August.
See?
So-
we got all kinds of stuff going on. People, you never know what to
You
expect.
just never know.
Q Talk America TV.
And speaking of what to expect, we're bringing on another show, or actually, we have become a little bit like the Borg. Basically, you will be assimilated. We will find every LGBT podcaster in the Valley and then bring them into the fold.
Okay, bring them to you.
So I had a good chat. This is actually the power of kind of presenting this whole studio concept and that we have built it out. So the show Let's Have a Fifi with Freddie Prinze Charming and Felicia Minor will be coming over to Q Talk as of the first Wednesday of August, and we're going to actually switch some things. The agenda, which is now from 7:30 to 8:30 with Rebecca Winninger of Equality Arizona, will be from 7 to 8, and then the other guys are going to maintain their existing time slot from 8 to 9. So continuing to welcome on more people.
And yeah, Let's Have a Fifi has been doing really well. I mean, there's so many different things going on in the
Oh,
community,
yeah.
and there's so much talent out there.
And they're talking to all kinds of queens
Yeah.
around the country.
Okay.
So
for real.
it's-
And kings.
And kings,
And
that's right.
kings,
That's right.
and
The
queens.
drag
We
queen,
have to
the
give-
drag kings.
We have to give our kings props, because they sort of felt they got shafted in the community a little bit later. I ain't bringing up old stuff, but anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Freddie was super excited to just come in here and have the ability to just, press sound effect buttons.
Okay. See, I know. And that's what people don't realize, that our little room right here is just like amazing. Even the soundboard,
The sound,
just gets to people. It really does. So we're running right on. Hey, we're doing good. We're right.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So what the heck happened in the past 5 weeks? Anything important that we should talk about?
There's some things that have been going on, and I know that people have been covering a lot of different areas. One of the things that I want to highlight right now, because I want to sort of keep things on a positive note, is that we have our wonderful people out there from Hero right now who are walking.
That's right.
And
that started.
they're walking their equality walk and going all over the state. They've increased the number of miles, the people who are walking, the supporters, and the people that they will be seeing. So I'm going to leave it on that. That's a positive thing, that they're out there, they're doing it. If you see them on the highways and byways around the state, go to Hero Online and see what they've got, what cities they're going to be in, and really cheer them on and support them. Because I could get negative about a whole bunch of stuff from Trayvon Martin to, Detroit filing bankruptcy but we ain't going to do that today.
Well, we can stay on a positive note.
Okay, go ahead. You go on a positive note there. Tell me something good.
So let's see. We had there was this day, I think it was Wednesday, the 26th of June, and the Supreme Court basically said that DOMA and Prop 8 are...
Okay. Ooh, that was good. That was good. That was a good sound effect. Do it one more time just for feeling. Okay.
It's our game show. Goodbye.
Right.
So,
ladies, what if you were putting a tidbit of something that was out there noteworthy and in the news? What captured you? Whether it be in the city, the state, nationally, internationally, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on in the world.
There's a lot going on. I think that the Supreme Court decisions were really anticipated, and it was and continues to be a really exciting time.
Right. It is. Things are happening.
Yeah.
They really are. Mm-hmm. Really are. What about you?
Yeah, I kind of just want to keep riding that wave of the Supreme Court and everything so positive that could come from that down the road. And I think to plug in, some information about the dinner, I think that we are really motivated by the Supreme Court decision. I think we have a lot to celebrate. So, I think hopefully we're sort of on a upward movement for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good job. See, look, positivity.
That's right.
Positivity.
We're doing our best.
Yes, we are. And that's the thing about it. As we were coming up into the whole, with the justices and where they were going and what was going to happen, one of the things that everyone kept saying is if we pull this positive energy, let's just think of what will be, what shall be, and keep those hopes going, and more so than, well, I just don't know. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm worried about, we can't continue to worry. We have to put that into action, something positive to do it. So right. I think that's the mindset that a whole lot of people have been in.
I think so.
And I think it's exciting that, the polling numbers that we hear of support for same-sex marriage all across, marriage equality all across the country are just getting better and better. I mean, the majority is now in our favor, and I think that's huge. The momentum is just carrying it away.
It slowly is going to be, and I don't, there's the question of, whether someone eventually is going to just sort of knock out all the states all have to fall in line, whatnot. Otherwise, it could take decades. But the momentum is the important thing, and it's kind of like, all right, the Supreme Court said this, the president said this, XYZ said this, so it's just moving it along. And as we've talked about, plenty of time on this show and other shows, it slowly is also a generational thing. More young people come into the world and they've got gay friends and they just see it and they're like, oh yeah, well, who cares, and that's what really continues to change everything. is, even I still think of myself as young, but then it's like, okay, I work at a university now, and I work with a lot of people that are younger than I am, and all those people in that generation come out when they're like 13, or 14 or whatever, and they're just cool, and their families usually, I think these days, people have better coming out experiences. I can't speak for everybody, but it gets better.
Yeah.
It does get better. And
Words to live by.
speaking of that, it's because the things that you all do in your organization, and to be able to get that positive note out there and to say. So, and I'll segue into that as we're going on. Again, our guests in studio today, and we're going to talk about the equality dinner that's coming up.
Yep.
And so who wants to tell us a little history about the organization? Who wants to? Megan, you want to start, or you want to start?
I'll start. So the organization was founded over 20 years ago. This is our 22nd annual dinner. And it has been, the organization and the community have been through, many ups and downs over that time. This is such an exciting year to be co-chairing this event. There's been so much to celebrate nationally and locally. There's been a lot that's happened within the state. There have been some really, really big wins. And then, as we were just talking about, there are so many opportunities as well. So it is really, really an exciting time to be co-chairing.
Yeah. And 20th year for this event.
22nd.
22nd.
year for this
Wow.
event, yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, that's showing too longevity in the valley of there have been so many different groups that were, in and out and have come and gone, and the stability there, Who's the ED now of
So it's a board-driven organization at the moment.
Okay.
So Rebecca Winninger is the board chair, and she, is a regular guest on the show. And she, so she's the board chair, and then the board has just grown, and we're now approaching 12 people.
Wow.
So it's a working board, and so we have a lot of fun together.
Cool.
And Bill McDonald, who was one of the key founders of the organization, just retired from his activities with or from his work with the organization this year. So we'll certainly be celebrating everything that he's done for the organization this year.
Great man.
Great man.
Great man. Yeah. So tell us what you all are going to do. What are the big draws this year?
It's going to be so much fun.
We can't give away too many of the surprises, but
Oh, come on. It's only the whole internet that's tuned in.
Right.
So we have an Oscars theme this year. So we're going the red carpet route. So
love that.
So do we. Yeah, we're really excited. So we'll have some surprises as far as the ceremony and the awards and things like that. But we're taking nominations now. So and Catherine can talk more about the categories for that. But we are very excited to hear from the community about the work of some of our great community members and leaders, and business partners. And so let us know, call in or email us. And we're hoping that it's going to be, a fun night. I think we're going to get dressed up and fancy.
That's cool.
And it's at the Arizona Biltmore, so always a great environment. So we're
I was
very
at the
excited.
dinner a couple of years ago, and I think we were, I think,
We were.
and it's
I love
always a
the
great
fact
time.
that you can it's one of those events where you can when you go to the Biltmore that you feel like you want to dress up, and I might have to find me a church hat. Okay, let's think about that.
I would absolutely encourage that.
Exactly. It's like, but because the whole little runway thing, and people do the
Yeah.
So, your website. What's your website address?
It's equalityarizona.org, and all of the information of the event is on there. And also as Megan said, we're accepting nominations for the awards starting this week. And you can email us that we're also accepting nominations via Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. So it's not a long process. Just tell us the name of the person that you're nominating and why, and all the information for the awards is on the website as well.
Okay, I'm gonna go for a minute though, Catherine, girlfriend. Where are you from? Because
Oh.
that accent just like is. Where are you from?
I'm from the UK originally, and it's funny. I thought as soon as we were talking about things that have happened and fun things to celebrate,
Right.
the Queen signed into law this week
go.
same-sex marriage in England and Wales. So international progress too.
Cool. And see, and that's what I was thinking too. And I was like, okay, I'm not gonna guess because I could be wrong. So, but I was thinking about that. I said, okay, she's either gonna talk about that or she's gonna talk about the baby. Okay, it's like because everybody's waiting for the baby.
Everyone's waiting
Everybody's
for the baby.
waiting for the baby. Yeah, but my the youngest of my birthed babies is living in the UK, and so I hear, when I'm talking to that little thing and then one of the most favorite men in my life, and that is from the UK, and we all know and love him, and he's right here in the valley. And do you know what I'm talking about? Everybody knows? Okay.
I don't think I
Nick
know.
Ray.
Oh,
Okay,
of
yeah,
course,
okay,
of course.
Yep. That's what I was gonna
Who
say.
else could it be?
The other Brit that we know that just does so well. It's like, yes. So shout out there to you, honey, because we do love you too. Okay, all right. But yeah, so you all are doing really good things. And I mean, and Megan, going to you, because you've been involved in the city and in state stuff and doing stuff and councilman work with people and elections and now we have this sister friendship of going to a women's college, and it's like you're doing things. You're doing things. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I'm trying to keep myself busy.
Yeah, you do.
I'm
you
sure
do.
you are.
Thank you.
You do. Now, in saying that, to taking your involvement with that, are you still involved with 1 in 10?
I am.
Are you?
Yeah, I was the board chair last year, so now I'm serving as the past chair and working on board development and succession planning. And this actually, my term is winding down. I've been on that board for about 6 years.
Yeah.
So it's winding down. So I'm. So I guess I needed something else to work on
that next step. That next step.
Yeah. So of course the dinner was an exciting opportunity for me.
And 1 in 10, of course, going through some changes with Michael Wheatley stepping down.
Right.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, it's going to be a big transition.
Yeah.
And especially at a time when we've had such incredible growth over the past few years. And thanks to Michael's fantastic work as such a great community leader. And then with Linda Elliott, our executive director, she's fantastic.
Right.
So she's really led us in a positive direction. We just started our housing program for homeless youth called Promise of a New Day. And so we are expanding that. We just got a grant from the city of Phoenix to bring on a staff person to actually work on that and manage that. Yeah, so it's overwhelming to think of, the impact that the organization has. So I'm humbled to be a part of it every day. It's really, it's really great.
And you know that's my baby. I'm still forever and ever. And for those who don't know the history, that was how Joe and I actually met.
We were
when
just
I was.
I did not know that.
When,
Yes.
I was volunteer coordinator leading the program, and he was a youth.
just
then.
a youth participant.
Yeah, and so that's how our history began back in the day.
So you and I must have just not missed each other by that much from when you were on staff there and when I started on the board.
When you but I was never a paid staff member. I volunteered for 14 and a half years
Oh my
with
goodness.
the program.
And I think we're going on 20 years
Yeah.
in existence right now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, so, and
Exciting.
yeah,
That's really cool.
it's amazing, isn't it? It's like, that's
It's amazing.
how long. But we find other avenues, and I'm really glad to know that both of you all are involved with Equality Arizona and keeping that going in the honor and realm of what, as you said, Bill McDonald, and what he has done is one of the founding people for that powerful group. So there's been some great positivity. That must be my word for today.
Word of the
and
day.
That is
and
an
I even-
excellent word of the day.
Okay, you
Love
see,
it.
and I even had the head attitude going with it. Positivity with my. You see my head? So I wore this with the family this morning too to the zoo, just to get, in case people didn't know. Okay, I dig chicks.
Eliminated.
Okay, it's like, and it was just so caught a couple of people just like, okay, because they weren't quite sure, and then they thought about it. Me, the wife, and the 3 kids. Okay, it's like, ooh, not sure. There we go. But yeah, positive things in the community. We're gonna come back to you all in just a bit. Gonna talk about some advertisers, sponsors, possibilities, things going on.
Other stuff going on. We want to
Yep.
remind everyone, and we're kind of we began because, albeit iMates, we're pretty transparent here at Q Talk headquarters. But anyways, we because of some personal changes that I made in my own life and career a few months ago, we had to start making some changes to the way that the structure works here. We haven't decided yet on whether Q Talk may become a nonprofit organization, and currently we're not. Although if you looked at the finances, you wouldn't think that we were actually a for-profit organization.
I'm waiting for my raise.
That's right.
Okay.
We're working on that.
Okay, thank you.
But anyways, we Q Talk America is a completely self funded, and it is an organization that runs on member contributions. Everyone
Okay.
who's on it's sort of a pay to play type organization, and we've done that simply to spread the burden out onto everybody. But additionally, as we continue to grow and do the things that we do, including the studio and all the different things that we do and the various shows that we have and things that we want to eventually do our own reach out programs and work with other organizations and get the word out. And all that takes money, and all that takes resources and efforts. So we're introducing something new, and eventually we may be doing an Indiegogo campaign as well. But we want to introduce you to sort of contributing to Q Talk and becoming sort of a friend of Q Talk America. And if you wish to do so on some amount, we can set you up through some sort of PayPal. This is not tax deductible because we are not a 501c3 organization, but basically you can help us continue to get the word out to the LGBT community and to continue our mission, which is to inform, educate, entertain, inspire the LGBT community and our allies. So if you shoot an email to info@qtalkamerica.com, we can set you up with something, and anything would be greatly appreciated. The other side of things is that, yes, we do offer advertising. We do advertising on all of our different podcasts that we produce here out of our own studio at very low cost. We won't reveal the cost directly just because it's not generally the way that you do things in the advertising industry, but it is extremely low cost. It's like less than the price of 2 people going out for a really nice dinner, to be honest. And it allows you to get out there on podcasts that have a very large listenership, and you're going to be heard and viewed by people around the world since it's the internet.
Right. And really, people, what it's about is we know that we enjoy being here. We know that the listenership is picking up. We know that there are viewers out there. People are downloading the shows. And it's a way for us as a community to continue to provide something on an international level.
That's right.
And bring the best that we can to you. Again, as we've said, that this is the new wave. And we've put it out there that, podcasting and bringing to you what we do, this is the new text. Okay,
that's right. Talk is the new text.
Talk is the new text. This is the way that everyone is going, and we feel like we're doing something. We're doing it well.
That's right.
And we are the only 24/7 LGBTQ network that's out there. So support us so that we can continue to bring this to you, because it is many voices, one network. That's what we are. Ooh, that was pretty good.
That was good.
We just sort of slid that in there. That was smooth that in there. That was good.
But yeah, so help us out, and we can continue to help you out. And again, advertising is available on multiple different levels, and it's very easy to get in. And it sounds like one of those pledge drives. But anyways, you can definitely help us out, and we will continue to help out the community at large. One of the things that we did, which again, it's providing this service. I think, yeah, we haven't had a show since then. So the day that we had the announcements of DOMA being struck down and Prop 8 being struck down, one of our friends out in our Pacific Bureau in San Luis Obispo, Randall White, who's been an openly gay broadcaster and journalist for several decades, he had contacted us a few months ago, and eventually that turned into a relationship, and our first Monday through Friday weekday afternoon news and information show called Equality Radio. He did 4 hours of nonstop live coverage with interviews from people around the world that morning from 8 to noon, and then we replayed that and so forth. But these are the kind of things that we can bring the community and bring the world that no one else is really doing. And then, of course, we had a special extended 2-hour The Agenda that night with Rebecca Winninger and a couple other guests, Grant Miller and whatnot. So these are the things, and on that day, it was so fun to watch all the things sort of in motion and all the gears turning that we had worked on for the past 3 years to get to today, and to be able to do that. And I think it's so important, especially now that there's a little more interest now, because the marriage equality has risen up to the top of kind of the consciousness of the U.S. and the world. And so I think in the coming years, as really things continue to get cooking and to move forward with all of these initiatives that we want to see go through so that we get equality around the entire country and eventually around the world, we can help do that. Yep. So... It's been an interesting summer.
It really has, and as we talk about that and the momentum of what's going on, again, to give people an idea of what's happening, not only in the studio and for us here at Q Talk America, but the fact that Randall doing a show now every afternoon, Monday through Friday.
That's right, 3 to 4.
3 to 4, to know that we've got that live show there as a part of our community here, and people are coming to us now and reaching out, because I mean, we're everywhere, and we want to be able to provide this to everyone, that small town community, that big city, if they can hear us in the UK or wherever they're listening to Clayton and his crew from the show with Clayton McKee. That's
right.
Okay, and but there are things happening, and we want to just be able to continue to bring that to you. And as we talk about, again, the positivity of things that are happening, what is it going to take, ladies, to make Arizona blue? Okay, I mean, you all are out there and on the cusp and doing work and hearing other people. What we got to do?
Gosh, that's hard to say. So, from a City of Phoenix perspective, I think you guys know I work for Councilman Tom Simplot at the City of Phoenix, and I think that the city is one of the leaders in getting us a little bit more blue. We're a pretty progressive city. As far as the rest of the state, we may have a little bit of an uphill battle, but Bisbee, Tucson, Flagstaff, we've seen some great progress. So I think all the urban areas are leading, hopefully. Yes. And so, I'd like to continue moving forward from a city perspective, and then hopefully some of the rest of the state will, I don't want to say catch up, but at least, sort of come along with us.
Follow suit.
Do we think it's kind of the rest of the state that seems to be the ones that are sort of more, I don't want to say backwards, but it's, there's a percentage of people who vote, obviously, for these various representatives and ultimately the governor. And the question is sort of, if we get the major cities turning blue and turning more progressive, does that solve it? Because the rest of the state is lesser populated, outside of the cities, Tucson, Phoenix, Flagstaff, Yuma. the Bisbee metropolitan area. You know what I mean? But
I know.
but at the end of the day, actually, a friend of mine's down there right now, just hanging on, being a tourist. But is that kind of what it will take? And we take certain chunks and we work on those one at a time.
Yeah, I think absolutely. I think there's a lot of opportunity for statewide offices coming up. I think that'll be interesting, and I think that'll help to move the state forward. But sort of back to our conversation earlier, I think the momentum in the country is also shifting. The pendulum is sort of swinging back from that far right, sort of very red mentality, and I think it's coming back around.
Yeah, I think if you look at, my day job, I actually work in campaigns statewide and here in Phoenix and other cities. And if you look at how Richard Carmona did statewide in his Senate race against Flake, he was actually really popular, overwhelmingly popular in Tucson and Phoenix and other metropolitan areas. But the rural areas really, are so conservative that it was difficult for him to overcome that. And I think that what is going to change that trend is time. Our state, like other southwestern states, is trending blue. The demographics are changing. If you look at how the demographics are changing, I think that the next 2, 4, 6 years, we're going to see monumental change and really seeing some major opportunities statewide over time. And then I think that the national momentum is definitely a part of that, and opportunities for people to get involved and to be shaping that conversation. The more that people are talking about, the issues that we care about, then the more people you're going to bring with you.
It's true.
True that.
It's true.
That is true. All right. Again, give us a date, time, location of your wonderful event that's coming up.
It is Saturday night, September 14th. Doors open at 5:30. The dinner starts at 7 p.m. At the Biltmore Hotel.
Okay. All right. Equality Arizona. So check them out online and find out what's going on, get more details.
And are there things that I wanted to ask this? Are there maybe you already read the notes, babe, and asked this question. I was doing something else. If people, because these dinners, it's X amount of dollars per person or per table. If people want to get involved, but they can't buy the ticket, they can't make that commitment because they're not there. Are there any other things that they can do, and or help the organization in smaller ways, smaller donations, or just, you said it's a working board. There's a lot people don't understand. I served on Phoenix Pride for several years, and during the time when it was also a working board. There's a lot to do in a working board type organization. Tell us how people can get involved, perhaps in other ways.
Yeah, sure. And there's a lot of opportunities. So it's a working board, and then each board member heads up a committee. And our committees range from the dinner committee, which I'm chairing this year, the volunteer committee. We have a committee that oversees a fellowship program that we're setting up, where youth can apply for the fellowship, and then they would be receive payment for working. Maybe it's on a political campaign or in a government office or in a law office, and that's something that we're focused on right now. So we have a range of committees that you can get involved with. And those really are statewide opportunities too. It's not just here in Phoenix. So getting in touch with us via our website or email address is the best way to do that. info@equalityarizona.org.
Okay.
And what we can do is meet with you, see where your interests lie, and plug you in where it's most effective. The great thing about working board organizations is there's so much to be done, like you said, and you really can make a big impact, which is why I got involved with the organization in the first place, because I saw a lot of opportunity and thought, here's a place where a few hours a week could really make a big difference. And I'd like to think it does.
That's wonderful, because that goes right into our show notes, because that was one of the questions that Joe had down there is, why did you all get involved? So
that's right.
On that. And So Megan, and so that sort of went too with you, the fact that you're ready to make that next step of getting involved with something and continuing on, but finding another area to
yeah, absolutely.
make a difference.
Yeah, and I think you guys are probably familiar with the non-discrimination ordinance that the city of Phoenix just passed recently.
Right.
Councilman Simplot was very involved in that, and obviously Mayor Stanton. And so through that process, we got to work with Equality Arizona quite a bit. They were, a partner at the table. Right. And so, I got to see firsthand really the impact that they can have, kind of, like Catherine says, a few hours of volunteer work really can go a long way. So I'm not sure that it would have passed without such great community outreach, and Equality Arizona is a really good partner. So it seemed like a really natural thing for me to get involved with this dinner because I saw the impact that they could have, and although Catherine's a lot of fun to hang out with, so
we have a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's interesting too because we're, I think, talking about things happening and people getting more involved in different areas. The fact of that the city right now and the state, but especially the organizations, groups here in the city of Phoenix are pulling together again, where 5-10 years ago there was a lot of push and pull, and right now it appears that people are working together, and you're not only just with this group, but you can be with that one, and you can be involved and do multiple. We can multitask, okay? We as a community, you can multitask. You can. You do it at home, okay? And I know because you come by where I work too, so I know how you multitask.
Babe knows all.
Okay, I know a little bit of everything, But it is. It's one of the things that I can actually say right now, being involved in Phoenix, whether it is our LGBTQ issues that we're involved in, general city issues, whether it's on national level or whatever, we're seeing that more and more people are getting involved some way, somehow, doing something.
I agree. Yeah.
And that's the thing about it is people have got to realize you gotta do something. Okay, you can't just sit on your butts and say, well, if they had did this,
right.
Okay, well, if somebody had told me about that, well, why didn't you check it out?
Right.
Okay, it's like, yeah, exactly. Okay, there's things to do and ways to pull us together to continue that momentum of that upswing, and we got to keep doing it.
And I think the more that you get involved with things, the more need and opportunity you recognize.
Right.
So
right.
It almost, it's sort of moves forward without even, you realize what you can do without even looking for it.
Right.
Sort of finds you once you start
Right.
getting involved.
Yeah.
And then you get your friends involved, and sort of that ripple effect, I think, just brings more people into making positive change. It's
True.
really exciting.
It is about creating change, and that's what we're doing. That's it. You gonna give me a sound effect, or you back over?
No,
there?
I'm just pressing buttons down here.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna switch gears for just a minute, and because we're moving on along.
We are. We're
our
good.
hour's about up, but I want to go from talking really about, well, we've been on this positive note, and I'm still gonna stay there, but I want to.
I was all like,
Okay, but no, I want to keep this going. But we talk about heroes and sheroes and things, so and out there. And it's
Are we talking about what's her name?
Yes, and so I want to talk about.
Do we need a
this
graphic
fact that
on the screen?
if you've got something there,
Yes,
okay,
I'm always
okay,
prepared.
all right,
Remember?
okay, but I am going with. Okay, we had an in studio. Well, we had a
Phone call.
phone interview.
Yes,
Earlier this year,
Yeah.
or near the end. It was with Liz Carmouche. And for those of you who don't know, she does UFC. She's a UFC
Fighter.
okay? And when we did the interview, I was like excited for the fact of that, okay, that, we're going to talk to this person, this out lesbian and thing. But I still have this thing about, this is almost the cage fighting kind of like.
It is.
This some heavy duty, intense. I'm gonna beat your ass kind of stuff. I'm sorry, but that's exactly what it is. But there is going to be there's going to be this championship bout coming up.
It's the first lesbian
cage matchup. So we've got
now, and Liz was like one of the first, either the first or one of the first like out lesbian fighters in the UFC champions. I think.
Yeah, she was one of the first out MMA champions. But so
we'll zoom in for everyone who wants a real close up.
Right.
There you
so,
go.
Okay, and there's some muscles, and
that's right.
You know,
that's right.
And I, girlfriend got her braids going and stuff. But I just don't know. Okay, sometimes in punches in WNBA, I'm like, dang, that girl hit her, knocked her down, or but Mama just don't know about this. Okay, but there are lots of people out there who are looking forward to this bout. So I wanted to be sure to let people know, since we had talked to her. She's a very nice young woman.
She was a great interview.
She was a great interview. I enjoyed talking to her, but just for me, I can't see that intensity. But there are those that's what they do. But this big fight is coming up. It's going to be
July.
July 27th. So we're talking
like a week from today.
Weekend. Yeah. Big event, Seattle, Washington, and the big
it's
key
in Seattle.
Yeah, in Seattle.
How of all weird places for UFC in Seattle?
Well,
don't they always do it in Vegas?
But see, UFC as well, Washington, that whole area, that it's a lot of that kind of entertainment,
Okay.
And whereas out here we've got, because we have it all. We've got baseball, basketball, hockey.
Right.
We've got it all. But in that region,
it's the other
stuff that they do.
Because they have to be indoors.
Right.
Because it's always raining.
Okay. Right. Okay. But anyway, check it out, people. Jessica Bate Estrada Andrade and Liz Carmouche, who goes by Gorilla. Okay. Mm-hmm. They're going to be fighting. So, I just want to let you all know for
all the lesbians and the lesbian lovers.
And yeah, exactly. Check them out, find out what's going on. And that was my little bit of babe for today, because it just sort of threw me off for a bit that, anyway, that was it. Yeah. Intense though, huh? Intense. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Intense.
Yeah.
Yep.
Intense. Well, we got 13 minutes left.
Okay, so what's up with you?
What's up with me?
You've got something, I'm sure, Joe, in Joe's notes.
Well, I just got my internet back this morning, so I was adding some show notes, trying to think of what the heck I was going to put on here. Because it's a challenge when you do this like once a month. Let's see. We talked about that. Where was the other things we had on here?
Who's coming up next week?
Next time is Dr. Pat. Oh, I can put him up on the screen.
Well, not next week.
Next time.
Okay, next time.
This is someone, it was actually pretty funny, and I'll embarrass her because it's fine, because she listens to the show and she's my friend. So it was funny because Dr. Patrick Grzanka, who works, he's a professor at the Honors College at ASU, of which, to be transparent, I am the webmaster and video producer for, and it's a great honors college if you want to send your kids there. Dr. Patrick Grzanka, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's actually a really cute guy. Lots of energy, and he works on, he is one of the honors faculty fellows, and he does a lot of work on gender studies. He is a wonderful gay man as well. And Nicole thought that he would be great to set me up with.
See?
She apparently never learned that he had a 10-year partner. 10-year relationship.
Okay.
Whoops.
All right. Well, yeah. Tell her, check your resources.
Yeah, please.
Okay?
Check your information.
Okay, check your resources.
But anyways, he'll be actually in studio next on the 24th. And I'm trying to think, 24th would be our last monthly show. Then we'll skip over Labor Day weekend, and then we'll be back to weekly in September.
Right.
But he just recently he's always working on all these different papers and studies, and he's done a lot of work in not only the gender studies, but sexuality and sexual orientation. So he'll be interesting to talk to. In fact, he had a paper that was recently going to be published by the time that he was going to be on our show that he can talk about as well. So that'll be pretty interesting.
See, once again, look at all of the things that are available to you people through Q Talk America.
That's right.
Look what we bring. Okay.
And the fact, we probably should have it'll be late, but they will already have launched. But again, first Wednesday will be the kind of the schedule switch, and we'll have the agenda, which will be from 7 to 8, and then 8 to 9 will be Freddie and Felicia on Let's Have a Fifi.
Okay.
Let me just look at what else we had going on. Okay, well, you took a trip.
Oh.
You took a trip, right?
God,
between the time that we were on last time and this time. You went to the Midwest and a few other places. I don't think it was necessarily sightseeing.
No, it was a summer adventure. The wife and I took the kids and we drove from Phoenix, Arizona to St. Louis, Missouri. Okay. We left on a Wednesday and we returned to town on Wednesday. We went
1 week or 2 weeks?
1 week.
Okay. I thought that was 2 weeks.
It was a week.
Wow.
We left here, went to visit my partner's family in St. Louis and all of those close around that area. Stayed there for a couple of days and then drove on to Columbia, where I raised my kids and met my partner Victoria, and so that all the cousins now of the bonus babies, we've got all of these families in the Midwest that we were going to do it. So we did this quick trip, turn around, and it was a great time. Most of you that know me, I've got this bad back, so the ride and the drive was not the best for me, but we had a good time. But the thing since we've been back is the girls know there are certain words that we don't say, we don't use, and I don't censor them, but if they can use it and give me a definition and use it in the proper context, it's okay. But there are 3 particular words that we call hurting words that we don't use in my household.
And what are those?
Okay. One would be the S word, stupid. Okay. One is fat, which is not nice, and the other, the U word, ugly. And I said in my house. I can say it. I'm grown up. I'm in the air today. They're home. Okay. Anyway, but those are the hurting words that we have learned about. But they realized that most of the cousins, which ranged from 2, the twins being the next 2, 4, and twins being the 6-year-olds, all the way up to 14. Okay. But this is since we've been back. Well, the cousins say it. I heard the cousins say stupid. Stupid, 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 stupid. That's what the cousins say. Okay. But where do the cousins live? In St. Louis, in Columbia. Where do you live? Phoenix, Arizona. So they may be able to say that they're in St. Louis because their parents say it's okay. But here in where do you live? Phoenix, Arizona. Okay. We don't use those words. Okay. So that's what I've been going through since our trip, since we got back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It was fun. I got to see everybody, babies, grandbabies, great-grandbabies, cousins, aunts. Victoria and I will be together next week, 23 years, and I'd never met one of her sisters face to face. We talked on the phone, all this stuff, but we never met face to face. And that was a great experience, too, to put that together. And so it was a good time. I enjoyed it. I wouldn't recommend it to those who are a little saner than me to do that in that period of time, because we had to get back and regroup and train my babies all over again. But it's okay. It's okay. It's all right. So one of the things what did you do besides move?
Not a whole lot.
Okay.
To be honest. But there is always the working on future planning. I was originally planning on going out to the Northeast in September, but you just get all these things going on and moving and Q-Talk and all these different work-related kind of things. I'm like, no, I'm going to push that out to next year. Why? I move some things around, but I'm definitely going back to Gay Days at Disneyland, which I haven't actually been out there for that event, even though I've been to Disneyland since. Going out there for that, which is the same weekend as Rainbows Festival, but since we're not doing anything with Rainbows Festival this year, I can leave. So that's going to be a fun road trip, and that's like the first weekend in October, which should be a gay old time. Literally.
Well, I was gonna say that was good though. You just slid it on in there. You slid it on in there. But you got something else though really good coming up that you're going to be doing. Yes, you're doing a blog. I heard about it.
Oh, that's right. Yes, this is real quick because I could go into this in depth. So after I had done all the work to get electric vehicle charging stations installed through the government grant program at the complex that I used to be at, Roosevelt Square, a nice complex. I won't say anything bad about them until I get the final bill, and I'm done with them. A nice complex, honestly, and they did a lot of work to get those installed, and then they were going to raise the rent. So, of course, I had to move. So I moved to a complex in Tempe that will remain nameless that doesn't have charging stations. So I am now exclusively on public infrastructure, which means I have to like multitask. I'm going to go work out. I'm going to go do some cardio around the lake. I'm going to go to the office. I'm going to go to the gym at the office, whatever, or, charge around town. But it's going to be probably 6-9 months before I have it. So it's just going to be an interesting experience. So let's see, what the heck did I decide that I was going to call it? I think it's going to be living on public charging. So it's probably going to be like livingonpubliccharging.tumblr.com or something like that. I'll announce it. I'm just going to do the whole blog thing and see how that goes. Yeah, but it is an interesting experience. Not having, I could get an extension cord and plug into my second floor apartment, but it's not recommended for 110 charging because extension cords aren't designed to really carry like their maximum rated load. So I don't want to set the whole place on fire.
Yeah, don't do that. And besides that, you just got your new car, okay? So don't mess it up.
No,
right?
4 months old, right?
Right, don't do that.
So we want to know, because we'll be back on the 24th, we want your vacation stories and photos and what you did on this summer vacation. If you took a vacation, if you went somewhere, if you didn't do a damn thing. Let us know.
Let us know that.
Joe and Babe at qtalkamerica.com. Contact us. Of course, we want to remind you that you can always subscribe on iTunes if I actually put the right screen up, which apparently I don't have one. So never mind. You can always find us on iTunes or at qtalkamerica.tv, where that is the central nexus of all of Q Talk. And you can definitely subscribe to our podcast, and you'll get more of them in September because that's when we will be back to the weekly schedule. But all the other programs are still on the weekly schedule. So there's still Gayborhood Friends is running, and the show with Clayton McKee, and The Agenda, and Gay Love, and, of course, later today at 4 o'clock, Working It Out with with Ernesto and Jean.
Right.
So I think that's the main thing. But let's recap with you guys and give us the quick 411 before we get out of here. On the dinner.
So it's Saturday, September 14th, 22nd Annual Equality Arizona Awards Dinner. It'll be at the Arizona Biltmore, and tickets are available. Tickets, sponsorships, nominations. Check us out at equalityarizona.org.
Okay, so Megan Schmitz and Catherine Alonzo, who are dinner co-chairs for Equality Arizona. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having us.
Sure.
Awesome.
And don't forget that event's coming up. Check out EQAZ and get more information on them. Joe?
Babe, it's been a great show as always.
Right. Great show. Thank you. See, and we were talking earlier, and we were like, okay, we haven't had a chance to really connect, to get the things together.
Well, we get through it somehow.
But we do. We make it. We always make it work.
That's right.
That's because we're a team, boo. We're good.
We're good.
That's the way it is. So,
check us out online, subscribe, and otherwise, I'm Jody Ganzik.
And I'm Babe Kaler.
For the Joe and Babe Show on Q Talk America. We'll see you in August.
All right. Bye.
Bye.